'Cause I know that it's something real. Gonna say how I feel. 'Cause I know that it's something real. Hey, hey. Gonna say how I feel. 'Cause I know that it's something real.
Good evening, everybody. How are you all tonight? So I think I've got the camera working again. Yep, there it is. Whew. I don't know why it went to sleep yesterday, but I got up this morning, came down here, said, okay, we'll figure out what's going on. Went and got a different cord, came over, didn't even plug the other cord in, turned everything on, and it went and was fine. I don't know. It took the night off, but that's okay. It shows me that we could do it in many different ways. It's good to see everybody tonight. I'm going to check in here. Tamara, nice to have you guys here. Deirdre. Yes, it was gorgeous. And there's Angie. Okay. And Donna, and I'm going to check in with everybody. And Larry. Hi, Larry. And quick question, what is a good quote and or graphic for a school librarian? Have you received a gift or read something cool? I want to make a custom tote bag tonight for our librarian. Ooh, okay, let me do a little bit of quick research on that in a little bit. There's some of the things, let's see, let me think on that. And I have a black canvas, totes, fabric, paint, iron-on transfer sheets, and iron-on band. Can't find an image. Do you have Canva, or can you do the? Let's look at the here. We'll go and look at the free Canva, because there's some of the images I was using there are free, and you could use those. We'll try that. Hang on. Lupe Blind Art Studios. Okay, I got your email, which is very cool. Thank you so much. So is your name Maria, or is it Lupe? Inquiring minds want to know and want to get it right. So let me know. Gloria and Julie E. I had a hard time finding it tonight. I'm sorry. I've been putting up like this one plus the next one. So sometimes they get, I don't know. Deirdre is here. Gloria, you're there. Yay. Hi, Gloria. And Janice. Oh my goodness. Oh, yay. Good to have everybody here. Yep. Yeah, checking in. Oh, it's good to see everybody. Okay, I don't know about you guys. How many of you guys watched the Massey Boys today? So, I like, a librarian is a powerful search engine with a heart. Oh, that's cool. Also, there's one that's called a librarian, the original search engine. That's a popular one. I tell you, I was having a day that doesn't hit me very often. But once in a while, when those days hit me that I go into a slump and nothing seems to work and I couldn't get motivated and oh my goodness. So I was kind of getting really, and I had this idea for tomorrow for a book and I kind of got obsessive about it. I wouldn't let it go when I couldn't find the book. So I decided to take Aldo out for a walk And if you saw my short that I did like at 12:30 or so, I thought it was going to be warmer, but it was so cold. And this part of the first part of the video is like me taking a video down on the asphalt, and it's this poor bumblebee that it's so cold it can't get up enough movement to pick itself up off the ground, because bumblebees technically, by all laws of physics, should not be able to do what they do. They shouldn't be able to fly, they shouldn't be able to do anything, but they do. And I'd seen another bumblebee that was just barely hovering over the ground. And I knew it was cold, but this one was like walking across the asphalt, and then Aldo went up and tried to sniff at it, and I said, leave him alone, and the poor bumblebee just kind of stopped. And I mean, I could go up and poke it with my finger, and he kind of went, So I came back, and when we got back from our walk, the bumblebee only made it about 3 feet to the side of the road. Sad. So it was like, okay. And then I came in and I thought, oh, I'll do nothing. I was wasting time watching like random silly short, that stream of weird videos that show up on Facebook. I was flipping through. Oh, I lost an hour at that. I was so irritated with myself. And then I saw the Massey Boys come on. And I laughed so hard I fell out of my chair. I could not believe it. Lee looked like a conehead in that suit. My sisters showed up at my house one time, at the house we were in Kenmore. When we lived in Kenmore, we were getting ready to sell this house. And they came and they said they would come help paint the interior so we could get it ready for sale. They showed up in the morning in those white suits, all with buckets of paint. And it was just so, when I saw the boys like that, it was just cracked me up. It reminded me of that. And then Jeremy not having been able to pump the stupid gun thing in it, just like, I was laughing so hard. I needed that so bad. It was hilarious. And anyway, yeah. And then my friend India had her 30th day in a row for her 100 days of live, and we were just giving her a bad time, and it was just lots of laughs and giggles, and it was fun to see. Yeah, Larry's got a good one. I like that one. A librarian is a powerful search engine with a heart. Yeah. So, yay. Oh, the storm? Okay, so that storm, if you saw the storm cloud last night, that I did when I went out and did that another short, because it was a wall. It was so weird, and it almost felt like I was in the eye of a storm. Like you hear about those things where everything goes calm, because it had been windy, crazy, whipping around. I mean, there's branches down all over the roads. There's a log halfway down across the road up our road a ways, and there's just branches everywhere. It's just the road looks like it's, somebody took their lawn litter and just dumped it all over the road, all out here. And then it just, after the live, and I got done and went upstairs, Bob said, look out there. And it was just dead quiet. The moon was out above us. It was totally clear. You could see the moon. It wasn't dark enough to see the stars yet. But off on the other side of Harstein Island was this wall of clouds, just black. And the thing is that wall of clouds went out and around and circled around us here. Where I live on the southern tip here of the Key Peninsula, just here in Long Branch, is one of these little mini rain shadows. In Washington, there's one up in Squim where the mountains are set, the mountains cause the clouds to go up and dump all the moisture on there, and then the area on the lee side of the mountains is really nice weather a lot of times. most of the time. Well, I live in a little mini one of those where Larry's could be getting, if we're in Tacoma, you know, literally 11 miles across the sound. If we could go across the water he's probably about 11 miles away from me, even though it's a go by road, it's probably a 45, 50-minute drive. But it could be raining pigs and chickens over there, and it's perfectly sunshiny here. And I see that all the time. My sister will be up the road, and it's, oh no, it printed out on,
Very good.
it printed out on little things. Oh no. I meant for it to print out on big stuff. Oh, Bob just brought me something I printed to show you guys. And it printed on little tiny things. Oh crap. Oh well. I'll have to try that again. Let's see if I can do this. Anyway, so the rain shadow is kind of an advantage a lot of times because we have good weather when everybody else is like 3 miles down the road is raining, or a mile down the road even. But it also could be the reverse. Like if it's nice every place else and the cloud could sit above me. But so we waited and we kind of waited, and at night that dark was still there. This morning I got up. I don't know when the storm went through, but it must have zipped through pretty solidly because there was a whole lot of stuff all over everything. The ground was glistening, but everything was fine. It's been sunny and windy and cold today, so who knows what's up with the Northwest weather. This is springtime here in the Northwest. Okay, I'm going to try this again. And nope, back. I'm just going to try to print this right if I can. Something I wanted to show you guys. And okay, now I'll print more settings. Oh, I know what it is. I had it on the small size. Check your paper size. I should know that. And then okay, and then nope. This printer, I'm just trying to get it to print. Okay, well, we'll see if that works from, yep. Okay, maybe not. Well, we'll just see. Print. I don't know. Well, oh well, I'll show you on going anyway. So I'll stop wandering. See, my head's a little bit wandery still. So it hasn't been my most focused day. So squirrel brain a little bit, but that's all right. But we did get some pretty amazing art in from you guys. Thank you very much. Couple things to share. First off, we had Tamara sent me a bunch of pictures because we talked about her whippets last night. So these when they were little and then they've grown, and so I got to tell you, Tamara, the reason I know that you were just sending me pictures because I like the whippets and all that kind of stuff, but I got to tell you, if this is what you can do with pet photography, you need to do this because you have a knack for it, and people would go bananas to have this kind of pet photography of their fur babies. So cute. And then your goddaughter holding them. So those are all, oh, you're gonna have to put the name in names. Soshi and Ayako? Oh, I don't know if I can remember them. You're going to have to put the names in the chat because I may have forgotten. Sleep waiting for this to start. Missed the opening dance. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, we can do that. Maria Guadalupe. Lupe for short. Okay, cool. Couldn't find today's. Oh, well. Huh. You guys cracked me up. It was so hilarious. That was so funny. I had to laugh. And on his premiere for the weekend, he sends the fam. Oh, yay. His premiere this weekend. The poor little... Yeah, the bees were just freezing. It's always funny at this time of year to see them. And then at the end of the season, when I have the what I call them the drunk bees that are on my artichoke plants, because I don't pick the artichokes, I just let them go to flower. And the bees, the bumblebees will sit on those flowers, and to the point that they are so laden with whatever the nectar that they're drinking that they literally pass out. You can go up and pet the bees. It's pretty funny. And then I was laughing so hard. Yikes. Oh, okay. And it's always gorgeous there. Upper Cowlitz. Oh, yeah. It is beautiful there in the Upper Cowlitz. It don't sound pretentious, seriously. Akiko and Sachi. Okay. All right, so there's those. And then we have Joanne's quilts. Okay, that one I couldn't turn the other way. I should have. Ginormous quilts. Just ginormous. She did this on a, and had it. So is Joanne here? Do you have a long arm? Did you do that on a long arm? I mean, it's amazing quilting. Absolutely. Whoa, my sister had sent hers out to be done on somebody's long arm, the stitching. And then we have Lupe. All right, her first one. Everybody, you guys get ready for this. We got, bum, bum. Here we come for Lupe's. First one, and where did it go? Where did it go? Hold it. It's here. Just a second. Is this it? Nope. Oh, unlock it. Is this it? Nope, that's not it. Where did it go? Hang on. I had it. Why do they disappear on me like this? There it is. Okay, I'll pull it back over. All right. Come back to me. There we go. I must have shrunk it down too much. Did something wrong. There. That's hers. Isn't that beautiful? I really like that. I'm gonna lock that. So pretty. Congratulations. First time showing here. There, I got it back in. See, I'm magic. I really like, I have no idea what kind of a pour it was, whether it was a ribbon or whatever. It looks kind of ribbony to me, but I really like the colors. It's just so pretty. So, so pretty. And then my final one I did last night for my Sita for Create Every Day in April. I chose Juan de Bayure, I think is how you say his last name. The quote was, "Out of difficulties grow miracles." And this was a photo I took, again, another one I took at the Getty. And it was just these amazing lily pads that they were this colorful, and then the travertine marble underneath them. So that was my Sita creation that I did. So that, out of difficulties grow miracles. And with that, we are going to start on our story, because the story today is by a gentleman named, let me get over here and close that. Screen share. Oh, come on. Google. There we go. Daniel Kirk. So Daniel Kirk has written like more than 50 children's books. He's been one of those authors that's been drawing and writing and doing that stuff since he was a small child. And if you, really want to see some of his things, he has a 20-minute YouTube on here about himself. But he has just been doing this for a really long time. He's been had some books, that one that was done with for conservation, that to help rescue rhinos, and he's been given all kinds of awards. And he does the work, the writing and the illustrating himself. One of the things I like about what he does is that he not only has his books here that you can see, preschool picture books, chapter books, and out-of-print books, school visits, but he has this activities here with coloring pages, bookmarks, and this was the one I was going to show you guys, that it has about how to make a folded book in here, those little folded books, Life of a Mouse, all this kind of stuff. And this will all make sense once you hear the story of the library mouse. Let me get my... There we go. And get this back on right. There we go. Yay! It's back on. Cool. Library Mouse by Daniel Kirk. I think you're going to like this. I love the mouse. He's one of it's a more realistic kind of cartoon type of illustration. Oh, my feet are freezing. Sorry, I have to turn my heater on. Hope that fan doesn't bother you guys too much, but it's cold. So this is for my friends at the Glen Ridge Library and the kids at Glen Acre School and all the librarians and teachers whose joy it is to help us discover a world of imagination through reading and writing. And that's one of the things Daniel Kirk talks about on his website, about the importance of picture books, that the story, how we carry it along, and how the pictures add to and let us imagine even more. So here's the story. Sam was a library mouse. His home was in a little hole in the wall behind the children's reference books, and he thought that life was very good indeed. Moving this up closer so I could. There. Every day when the library was full of people walking up and down the aisles, studying, checking out books, and working on the computers, Sam was curled up in his little hole, sound asleep. Every night when the people went home and the room was dark and quiet, the library belonged to Sam. And every night Sam read, and he read, and he read. Sam read picture books and chapter books. He read biographies and poetries, cookbooks, sports books, fairy tales and ghost books, and mysteries by the dozen. Sam's mind was filled with facts and information and images of faraway places, and his imagination brimmed over with wonder and fantasy. One night, Sam decided that it was time he wrote a book of his own. Sam folded over some little squares of paper he took from the librarian's desk to make the pages. Then he found a pencil that had rolled underneath a shelf, and he began to write. Write what you know, Sam had read in a book about writing. So Sam wrote about being a mouse. He drew the pictures for his book by posing in his little mirror, then sketching what he saw. Look at the cat here. And the battery. Look at the battery underneath the matches. Those little things. Bottle cap. And the acorn hat. Sam worked very, very hard, and finally his first book was done. He called it Squeak, A Mouse's Life. And he wrote on the cover, Words and Pictures by Sam. He went to the autobiography section of the library, and he tucked his first book onto the shelf. Then he went back to his little hole in the wall and waited. The next afternoon, sunlight streamed in through the library windows. "What's this?" asked a girl whose teacher had sent her to the library to do a book report. "Well, I've never seen anything like this before," said the librarian, and she put Squeak, A Mouse's Life on her desk. Later, she showed it to the other librarians. Sam decided to write another book. It was called The Lonely Cheese, and working on the book made him feel very hungry. It was a good thing that he always found so many crumbs to eat by the trash basket in the hallway. When he had finished the illustrations, Sam scurried to the picture book section and proudly placed his latest book on the shelf. Then he went back to his little hole in the wall and waited. The lonely cheese. The next morning, sunlight streamed in through the library windows. "What's this?" asked the little boy who was looking for a big book about trucks. "It's another book by Sam," said the librarian. "Just who is this Sam?" she thought to herself, and put the lonely cheese on her desk. Later, she showed it to the children at story time. Sam decided to write a chapter book. It was called The Mystery of Mouse Mansion, and it gave Sam goosebumps when he wrote down the scary parts. The full moon was shining down through the windows of the darkened library when Sam crept over to the mystery section and sneakily placed his book on the shelf. Then he went back to his little hole in the wall and waited. He's got his Sherlock Holmes outfit on. Isn't that too cute? The next day, sunlight streamed in through the library windows. "What's this?" asked a teenager who was looking for a good, creepy book to read before bed. "We've got to find out who this Sam is," said the librarian. "I'll leave a note on the bulletin board and tell him that I would like to meet our new author." She put The Mystery of Mouse Mansion on her desk, and later she showed it to the writing class that came in after school. That night, Sam found the note. It read, "Dear Sam, all of us at the library have been enjoying your books immensely. We are all wondering who this mysterious Sam really is. Whoever you are, you certainly have a lot of talent. Not everyone has it in them to write even a single book, let alone 3. We think it would be fun to have a Meet the Author Day with you as our special guest. The children would love to hear you read your books and share some of your secrets for writing. Yours truly, Mrs. Forrester, Head Librarian. Look at those eyes. Oh my goodness. Sam felt very nervous. He was happy that the children at the library liked his books. He was flattered that they wanted to meet him. But mice, as a rule, are very shy when it comes to meeting people. Sam could not understand why people thought that writing and making up stories was so hard. If only they would try, they might find out that writing was really lots of fun. Sam had an idea. He went to the librarian's desk and got some supplies. All night long he wrote and drew and snipped and folded and stapled his little rectangles of paper into mouse-sized books. In the morning, when the librarian opened the children's room, there was a sheet of paper taped to the door. "Meet the author today," it read. A little girl was the first to see Sam's display all set up at the front table. "What is this?" she asked, and there sat a tissue box with a pair of pencils taped to the sides and a banner stretched across the top. On the banner was written, "Meet the author," with an arrow pointing down, like that. The girl bent over the box to look in the empty tissue box, and "Oh!" she said in surprise, for at the bottom of the box lay Sam's little mirror, and in the mirror the little girl saw her own face smiling back up at her. "Me?" she said. "An author?" Next to the mirror was a stack of tiny blank books and a pile of pencils that Sam had sharpened with his little teeth. I remember doing this when this book came out at school. Kids loved it. All that day, and for many more thereafter, people came to the little display to meet the author. Soon there was a whole shelf full of books written and illustrated by people who had never written a book before, telling stories that had never been told. Sam was a library mouse. His home was in a little hole in the wall behind the children's reference books. All that night, Sam sat in his hole thinking and thinking about the next book he would write. Would it be a mystery, an adventure, a funny book, a true book? There were so many stories to tell. "Ha ha," he thought. "I'll just have to write one of each." And Sam picked up his pencil and got to work. And that is Sam, or the library mouse. Yay. Oops. All these other ones I have checked out. So what'd you think of that one, you guys? Isn't that cute? Yeah, this is one of the most popular books ever. It's so I don't know whether the illustrations, the whole thing, but I think ever since it came out, it's been one of those things that as librarians we have done as an activity. That is so much fun. And then I'll go back over here to screen share, because let me go up here take you to the books. Where we go? picture books, because the library mouse, he doesn't stop there. Well, he's got Newton and Curie, the science squirrels. But the library mouse has a whole series. He has A Friend's Tale, A World to Explore, Home Sweet Home, a museum adventure that got an award for, I can't remember what that. And then Rhino in the House is the true story of saving Samia. Prayer for Animals, Things About Spring, You Are Not My Friend, But I Miss You. Night Before Christmas, My Truck Is Stuck, While the World Is Sleeping. That's a really, he illustrated this one, Pamela Duncan Edwards' book. Hello, Hello, another one he illustrated for Miriam Schlemm. Block City is a poem by Robert Louis Stevenson that he illustrated. But so, yeah, Library Mouse is a very successful series. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books in the series. So great. It's just it became classic instantly, practically. And his style of art is so wonderful. But the activities that I wanted to show you guys. So this first one, come on, open up. Oh, no, go back. Page. And back. Okay, this one I need to... Crumb. See if I can do something here. Here we go. Oopsie, didn't get all a page. Oops. Let's try that again. Here, I got it. Better. Okay. Now like if I can open this now. Oops. Oh, where is it? Where did it just go? I opened it. I popped it open. I took a picture of it, and where did it go? Well, fiddle. So this is the directions. I was trying to get the directions out so to tilt them, but they're not opening for me. Image. See if it's there. Just a sec. Hang on just a second, guys. Where? Oh. Recents. Nope, not there. Then well, I don't know where it went, but what I wanted to do was try to do this. So this is the directions for making these little books. They're like little accordion books. I'll get all this stuff out. I'll get it printed. I tried to print it, and it printed out in this little Dinkalicious paper. Dinkalicious, you like that one? Here. So it printed on that size. So I'll get it for tomorrow night and show you how to do these little accordion books. They're really kind of fun to do. And that's the directions for it that he has there. Anyway, goodness gracious. So, checking a mysterious story. Anyway, I was going to show Canva here on Canva. Just, yeah, creative design. post. I'll do that. Okay, so I just opened up Canva. I'm going to show, because Donna was wondering about this, and I wanted to show you guys where you could do if you wanted to find, sometimes you want an image or something and you can't quite find anything that fits. Canva in the free version, you can do this. There. Okay, so I just opened it for like a post, and over here on the left-hand side, there's elements, but if you go down to, they have photos, and you could do, well, actually, elements might be better, and do librarian. Oops, spell it right, Gretchen. Librarian. You can search for librarian, and you get all these kind of images that if they don't have a pro by it, that means they're free. But if you went to graphics, like this one right here is a free version. So you could do that. You could download it for free if you don't have a membership. But if you also went to their gifts and did librarian or library, sometimes like this one, when in doubt, go to the library. And that is a free one too. So you could download that if you wanted to do some kind of an image. And then you were wondering library quotes. Library quotes. I like the one though that Larry had. I think that's a good one. I've always imagined that paradise will be a kind of library. When in doubt, go to the library. That's a good one. Or you could say librarian quotes too. Librarian quotes. What's it? Librarian, because book wizard isn't an official title. I like that. A trained librarian is a powerful search engine with a heart. I like that one. That's the one that that Larry said. Librarians don't know everything. They just know how to find out everything. The most important asset of any library goes home at night, the library staff. Never argue with the librarian. They know too much. See, here's a whole bunch of great ones. I just think that's funny. So, and then there's 15. School librarian, multi-talented, miracle worker, superhero, ninja magician. Oh, here we go. Every child needs a librarian in their life. Oh, look at that one, Donna. Look at that one. Every child needs a librarian in their life. That's a good one too for a school librarian, I think. So, there you go. There's a couple of them on that. I just typed into Google. But yeah, those are the ones I kind of like. I like the one that Larry had. And then I like every child needs a librarian in their life. Yeah. Okay. Storytelling, yeah. Storytelling is, and just teaching literature and all, and about the connections that they have. It's pretty amazing. Well, you guys have heard with all the stories that we get, and in this, how much more there is to the book, how much more there is to the picture book, and that it only builds as they get older in different kind of books. A couple of my very favorite, and you guys might know this, there's a book by Lois Lowry, a chapter book called The Giver, which was a Newbery winner years ago, and it is, oh man, it's a book that the entire book ends in a major cliffhanger. in such a way that it really, kids, it's the first book that they encounter that the problems aren't answered and solved, and that they don't know for certain what they end up going, well, it has to be this way because it just wouldn't be right if this didn't happen. And you go, but you don't know. And how do you know? Because the people, and necessarily along the way, were not people who did things what we would consider right and good, and they made judgments and they did things. It's an amazing book. Another book by Gary Paulson is called Hatchet, which, man, just absolutely amazing. And then the book, I think I told you about the book, Opal, Because of Winn-Dixie. It starts out, my name is India Opal Bologna, and my daddy, the preacher, sent me to the store for bread and milk, and I came home with a dog. And that's the opening line. I got that book, I read that opening line, and I did not put that book down until I was done with that book, chapter book. It was stunning, absolutely amazing book. One of my favorite. And yeah, I could go on. Chapter books is a whole nother realm of I don't read a lot of adult directed, people will say, are you in a book club? You do this? No, I'll read children's literature or young adult novels and certain things by different authors. Cornelia Funk is one of my favorites, all different kind of people. But those, yeah, I'll read those. But some of the other ones, yeah, I'm too much into picture books and that. Anyway, you guys, it has been, I'm glad you liked it. So cute. Not my house, no mouse in my house. As a kid, it was called The Littles. Yes, The Littles is a very good book. There's The Littles, and then there's The Borrowers. And Mary Norton wrote The Borrowers, and it's a British book. And she's British. It is not a book to read aloud. I tried to do it as a read aloud to one of my third grade classes one year. And literally, I practically saw their eyes rolling backwards in kind of like trying to figure out. And it's a love that if you give it to them to read, they love to read it themselves. But as a read aloud, it doesn't work because of the way of the British way that particular era that she wrote in, the sentences are very long and they were not so much, didn't flow so well together for a read aloud. But if you're reading it yourself, you can kind of make that grasp. And as my third graders got to were better and could follow it, they could get it. But it's a lot of connections and this and that. The first page is in the book is like a half page, and it's one sentence. Yeah, that's hard to follow sometimes. And then The Littles, I can't remember who The Littles were by. I love those though. Larry, thank you very much. I don't have an Amazon wish list yet. I haven't quite figured out how to put one of those together, but I will. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. But a native hopping mouse, yes, you have those little, I've seen those little cute things, fluffy tails. Nothing jumped out at me. I'll go on Canva, yeah. Sweet Valley High. I lived in Watts, California. Oh yeah. Yeah, Sweet Valley, the Sweet Valley Twins, Sweet Valley High. Yeah, some of those some of those books, I would, Lois Lowry did several books. There's The Giver, and then there's 2 or 3 other books in this series, and they are amazing, absolutely amazing. There's some other ones if you, can't remember right off the bat, but they are always favorites of mine to read. Mr. Popper's Penguins is classic and it's wonderful. There's, they're just great books. It's a lot of fun to read those kind of books and not have to. The other thing, this was another thing there that I would get into. A lot of kids would read, they would start to get into the Goosebumps because they wanted to read scary stories. And I kind of had a rule in my library that I didn't let first graders check out Goosebumps. And second graders had to show to me that they were not just checking them out, but that they were actually reading them. And I didn't mind so much the second graders. But by third grade, I was asking them if they were going to go for that, if they were going to do a Goosebump, then I wanted them to also try something else. And another recommendation. Here's my theory. It's not a theory, but here's the fact behind Goosebumps and what I recommended instead. So Goosebumps is it's a fine book to get kids interested in reading along. But the thing that they do in a Goosebumps book is that they have a chapter, and they set up something, and they set up something scarier, there's some event, and leave a short cliffhanger, and boom, it's solved within the first page or so of the next chapter. Okay? It's not carried throughout. It doesn't carry the story. There's an author out there, a Northwest author, a woman named Peg Carrot. Peg's books are, oh my gosh, they are that mystery suspense kind of thing that once I got a third or fourth grader into those books, they would not turn back to the others. Because what Peg does is she will set up a story where there is a suspense, or there's an event, or then there's another layer, and they're added, they come in at the right moment throughout the story. And they build throughout the whole thing, and they come together and they weave together, and nothing really, maybe 1 or 2 little events might kind of clear away or fall away, but nothing that all culminates until the end of the book. And it, what was the, so she, and of course being in the Northwest, she wrote a book called Danger at the Fair, which was set at the Evergreen State Fair in Monroe, Washington, which is where I taught. So there was Danger at the Fair. There was, Terror at the Zoo, which is set at the Woodland Park Zoo in Seattle. There is Horror at the Haunted House. I can't remember where that one's set. She did one called, she did a whole Pete the Cat series where the cat actually is the narrator in the book, and that was just too funny. She did this whole natural disaster series. One was called The Volcano Disaster, Mount St. Helens. So the kids all know about that here, and she used actual things, blizzard disaster, flood, earthquake terror was when then, and Escaping the Giant Wave is a book about a tsunami coming in to the near Portland, or to Seaside, Oregon. And so a lot of these are set around there, and they're just so well done. And she's such a great writer. And then her autobiography that she did called Small Steps, The Year I Got Polio, talks about her childhood when she ended up getting polio and the 6 months she spent in an iron lung and all of that. she's one of the first authors I ever met, and I just cherished her. She lives just outside of Mount Rainier National Park and has a kind of an animal sanctuary at her home, and so it's pretty cool. Great if you ever needing to look for a book to recommend for a good third grade reader up through fifth grade. Any one of Peg Harriet's books, fifth or sixth or higher, and you want books that are going to capture their attention, but they like a good mystery. Some of them are scary, some of them are not. But Saving Lily is good. Cages is kind of that was a scary one. Done so many books. Yeah, she did the series called Frightmares, which was kind of a response to the Goosebump type of aspect book. But all right, that's me talking about a whole nother kind of book. You guys, I just got going here. I just got going. She said Sweet Valley to a high, and I just went boo all the way. 21 Balloons, yeah. Oh, 21 Balloons is a great book. Sailor Dog and found sound effects for my grandson when he was little. Oh, I love that. Yay. Yeah. Yes, I scraped a lot of that mountain off the roof of my parents' house in Yakima. Yeah, my parents lived in Yakima when we were up in La Conner when it blew, and Dad couldn't get home, and my sister was in Moxie, and they brought out the snow plows in the town of Yakima, which is because the ash was so thick from Mount St. Helens that it literally, they scooped it up with snow plows and filled up tons. In fact, there's an entire park in Yakima that was not a park. It was a hill that went down like this and out. It was just below my dad's orchard, and they filled that whole thing in with ash, and now it's a big soccer field. Just actually have multiple soccer fields. You can play like probably 6, 7, 8 games on that field. It's a crazy time. All right, you guys, I am going to let you go, and I want to thank you again for hopping on tonight with me and hearing the stories and taking in the library mouse. So much fun. I'll let you know tomorrow night, but Thursday I might go on an hour early, maybe an hour and 15 minutes early. There's a art kind of plein air class at Empire Pizza between 6:30 and 8:30 that I might go to because she's doing a thing, but I'm going to look into it to see if it's going to be, if anybody's done it. And so I would come on early because I don't think she'd appreciate it if I live streamed from her art class. I've never met the woman before. Anyway, I will let you know tomorrow night if that's going to happen. But I'm looking forward to seeing you then. But until then, you guys, keep looking for the beauty hidden in plain sight. All right, it's all around. I'm so glad you came for this story and invited me into your home. You guys are special. You share the love, and you are the beauty. Absolutely abundantly. I'll see you next time. It's gone. It didn't go. Why isn't it not going? There we go. Bye. What's going on? There we go.
In the heat of the night, we could get lost in all the lights and sounds. Feeling alright, we won't go home, we will just stay here downtown. There's not just stars on the boulevard, they're in the light in your eyes. Oh, we don't need no black cards, be shameless, famous, running cool, with a love that leaves us weightless. Ooh, drop dead gorgeous, wow. Ooh, you got me feeling starstruck too. We could be
Yeah, Deirdre, it would be fun. I really would be. But I'll be live streaming from the beach next week. So,
You blow my mind, looking like a model, better than the usual. Yeah, you don't even try, not average or typical. I put you on a pedestal. There's not just stars on the boulevard, they're in the light in your eyes. Oh, we don't need no black cards. I just need you by my side. We could be shameless, famous, running cool, with a love that leaves us weightless. Ooh, drop dead gorgeous, wow. Ooh, you got me feeling starstruck too. We could be famous. We could be famous. We could be famous. We could be famous. We could be shameless, famous, running cool, with a love that leaves us weightless. Ooh, drop dead
thanks, Julie.
gorgeous, wow.
Night, Gloria, Angie, Larry, and Janice, Deirdre, Donna. Hey, Paul. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Thank you, Mr. Duncan. Hey, nice to have you here, sir. That's it, guys. See you tomorrow night.